Developing right now, President Biden is meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House. In the closed-door meeting, it's being reported that they are discussing a ceasefire deal. Later this evening, Netanyahu is expected to meet with Vice President Kamala Harris separately. Meantime, the unrest over Netanyahu's visit to D.C. continues. Today marks the fourth day of demonstrations. Before today's meeting between Biden and Netanyahu, protesters poured gallons of fake blood on the Black Lives Matter Plaza. Rafael Sanchez Cruz has been following those protesters since this morning. And Rafa, bring us up to speed here. How does today's protest compare to what we saw yesterday?
Yeah, Simone, well, right now what's left of these crowds are concentrated right here on 16th and 8th Street in Northwest, right in front of Lafayette Square. There are still several road closures around the White House. Let's take a live picture of the people that are here. So today, the crowds are much smaller than yesterday's. We're not seeing even a fourth of the people that we saw yesterday around the Capitol. Yesterday, a lot of the messaging was geared towards members of Congress for inviting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. But today, we're seeing the focus shift towards the executive, both President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, for agreeing to meet with the Israeli Prime Minister. Now, the crowd here tells me they have very little hope that today's meetings with Biden and Harris will result in a ceasefire or change the relationship between Israel and the United States. Today, protesters are reacting to Netanyahu's speech last night, particularly what he said about the protests against his handling of the war in Gaza. The Israeli Prime Minister saying in part, quote, "Many of the anti-Israel protesters, many choose to stand with evil, they stand with Hamas," end quote. He also told protesters, "You have officially become Iran's useful idiots," end quote. This is what protesters are responding today. Let's listen.
Netanyahu yesterday was at the thing saying that we're getting paid to be out here and that we're with Hamas, and nah, bro, we're with humanity, bro.
I'm not being paid. That's what I would say. My little sister is not being paid. We just have a hunger for justice. That's all.
And I would say, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Now, Vice President Kamala Harris has reacted to yesterday's protests here in D.C. In a statement she put out today, it says in part, "Yesterday at Union Station in Washington, D.C., we saw despicable acts by unpatriotic protesters and dangerous hate-fueled rhetoric. I support the right to peacefully protest, but let's be clear, anti-Semitism, hate, and violence of any kind have no place in our nation." And in just about 30 minutes, Prime Minister Netanyahu is set to meet with Vice President Kamala Harris. And coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll talk more about the clashes that are going on between a lot of the protesters that are here. And actually, I want to mention that right now, 8th Street here at the intersection of 16th Street has just reopened. So that'll help with the congestion that we've seen around the White House this afternoon. I'm live in front of Lafayette Square. Rafael Sanchez Cruz, WUSA 9.
Yeah, we know some of those protesters are still impacting traffic, as you highlighted, Rafa. We're going to be checking in with you for updates on that throughout the evening. Thank you.